As a PT who's also a runner, I often know a lot of runners who want to improve their form so they don't get injured, but I also know runners who want to improve their speed. They want to get faster on their races, they want to show progress in their running abilities, and so today I'm going to share with you 3 drills that you can use to speed up your running using your muscles in the most efficient way. I'm Dr. Christina, the Picky PT, and before I share those drills with you, make sure to like and subscribe to this channel if you want to see more content like this. So, the first drill that we're going to go over is called an incline knee drive. You're going to need a surface to hold on to, like a tree, or you can use a wall if you're at home or a counter. Either way, what you're trying to learn to do is using your posterior chain muscles, so your glutes, your hamstrings, your calf muscles, to propel you forward as you're running, rather than overusing your hip flexors or your quad muscles to drive you forward. Your posterior chain muscles are a lot bigger. They just are. They have more mass. And so why wouldn't you use the bigger, stronger muscles to push you forward rather than trying to use those front muscles to pull you forward? This will automatically increase your speed even without you trying, just because you're using your body more efficiently. The second drill we're going to go over is dynamic lunge walks, because as you're lunging, if you're doing a lunge in a forward direction movement, you're going to be practicing yet again using those posterior chain muscles. So I prefer to do lunge walks in a forward direction rather than just doing static lunges or doing lunges where you press back, where it's going to get you using more of those anterior chain muscles, all right? So we'll go over how to do that and what compensations to watch out for. The last drill we're going to go over today is bounding. Bounding is somewhere between a leap and a run, but the purpose of it is to get you to increase your stride length, okay? More specifically, you want to increase the stride length behind you, not in front of you. You don't want to be having a forces pushing you backwards, but you do want to have a forces pushing you forwards. And the longer you stretch that leg out behind you, the more we know that you're taking full advantage of those posterior chain muscles and using them to their full extent rather than just taking small little strides and having too much vertical movement and not enough horizontal. So we'll go over each of these drills, how to do them properly, what compensations to watch out for, and how they help you speed up automatically even without trying. The first drill we're gonna do is that incline knee drive. So like I said, you're gonna need a surface. I'm gonna use a tree today since I'm here in the park. You're gonna move into a runner's lunge stance with the first front leg bent, back leg straight. The muscles that you're working are in your front leg posterior chain, all right? So whichever leg is in front, that's the one that you're working. You're gonna lean into the tree or the wall that you're using, and the movement you're gonna end up doing is engaging those glutes to propel you forward, almost like you're ready to take off in your run, okay? We're gonna make sure that we're using our glutes to push that hip up and over our leg, end up in front of that leg, and then at the last second, use our calf muscles. What we're not gonna do is we're not going to straighten our knee to do this. We're also not going to overuse our calf muscle too early to do this. As you can see, when I do that, I'm getting more vertical movement and not enough horizontal movement. And like I said, to inadvertently help yourself go faster, you want more horizontal movement. So making sure that it is glutes first, getting that hip up and over that leg, leaning forward of that leg, and then using your calf muscle. As you get really good at this, you can start speeding it up, so it's gonna look more like this. And then you can even add a little hop at the end to simulate pushing off of that calf muscle to propel you forward. So that would look like this. If you do this drill before you run, you're gonna wake up those posterior chain muscles, and you're going to remind your body what muscles it's supposed to be using as you run to propel you forward faster and increase your speed. The second drill we're gonna do is your dynamic lunges. So remember, these are going to wake up your posterior chain muscles and remind them that they're the ones you're gonna be using when you're propelling yourself forward. So you're gonna take a step forward with your lunge, making sure both feet are in neutral, no feet are turned out to the side, both are facing forward. You're gonna square up those hips rather than having them rotated. Bend your back knee first to lower you straight down to the ground. And here's the important part for learning how to propel forward. You're gonna engage those glutes, pull yourself up and forward to take that next step for the next lunge. Feet are in neutral, square hips, drop the back knee, and then squeeze that bottom to bring that hip up and forward so you can take that next lunge. So all together, this is gonna look like this. So taking a step forward, feet are in neutral, hips are square, dropping the back knee first, keeping this knee over your shin rather than lunging forward on it, and then engage that glute to pull that hip up and forward to propel you to the next step. Hips square, feet neutral, drop the back knee, and then squeeze that bottom to propel you forward. The third and final drill is going to be bounding. So like I said, this is somewhere between a leap and a run. And if you have a history of being a dancer like I do, it looks a little bit like an arabesque. So you're going to go ahead and hop onto one foot, extending your back leg behind you as far as you can. Then you're gonna hop onto the next foot, extending your back leg behind you as far as you can. In order to make that hop happen, you're gonna try to use these muscles in the back, squeeze that bottom and push off of that bottom. You're gonna push off of that back leg in order to make this happen. So at full speed, this would look like this. If you try out these drills and you notice that it's increasing your speed but not as much as you want, make sure to make an appointment with a neuromuscular expert, a physical therapist like myself, who can make a personalized program for you to make sure that one, you're doing these drills correctly, but two, you're also learning the coordination and engagement of the proper muscles at the right time to increase your speed with the most efficient use of your body.